Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you my top 10 recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale. The VIB sale is starting for VIB Rouge members on April 26th until May 6th. And then for VIB and Beauty Insiders from May 2nd to the 6th. So it's coming up really quickly. And if you guys want to know what my top recommendations are at Sephora at the moment, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I always make these recommendation videos with every Sephora VIB sale, and sometimes I have products that are like holy grail products I need to mention every sale. So I have a couple of those, but I really wanted to focus on some products that you guys might be interested in for spring and summer specifically, and some newer releases as well. So one newer release that I've been really enjoying is from Ole Henriksen, and this is their Banana Bright Face Primer. This is awesome if you love brightening skincare and face products. And I definitely love vitamin C skincare products. I feel like it really wakes up my skin in the morning, plumps up my skin, makes it look refreshed and like lively and not dry or dull, like if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup on top of it. This is really awesome because it's like a skincare and primer hybrid. Sometimes I'll wear this as just like my daily moisturizer, but it also definitely works as a primer that actually fills in your pores. And I think it's good for this time of year because it's hydrating, but not so hydrating that it's gonna leave your skin dewy. So I think it's gonna work for a lot of different skin types, but this is a very brightening primer. It's like a regular cream primer, but it does have that blurring effect, and it has a very lightweight texture, and it smells like a banana citrus, like an orange banana creamsicle or smoothie or something, which I absolutely love. So I love putting this on like first thing in the morning. I feel like it also like helps depuff my skin. It's just a really good primer that has skincare benefits to it as well, and I feel like you want that with a primer, especially if you're gonna be paying for a high-end primer. You want it to actually do something for your skin in the long run, and that's why I really like this. I feel like it's just like another step in my skincare routine, but also a really good base for makeup. But if you do not like scented products, this is not for you because it's very vitamin C, like it smells like freshly squeezed orange juice. But I love that for sure. I love scented products. Next up, this is from Fenty Beauty. It's their Pro Filter Concealer. I love this concealer, and I love a lot of like high coverage concealers, and this is more of a medium to full coverage. And I wanted to share this one instead of some other concealers because I feel like this is something that's gonna be good on a lot of different skin types, across like a lot of different ages, like if you have mature skin or you're very young. I think that this is a good one because sometimes thicker concealers cannot look as good on mature skin or oily skin, but I feel like this is gonna work for a lot of different skin types, and it gives good coverage. It's like a medium to full coverage concealer. I wear the shade at 210. I'm about the shade 220 in the foundation. I find the foundation very cakey. Like I find it to be something where it just feels like I'm putting on a little bit of a mask on my skin. But the texture of this concealer is very different. So if you don't like the foundation, definitely check this out because it's not as full coverage. It's a lot more breathable, but it's still gonna give you the coverage that you need on your skin. But it gives you a very like demi-matte finish, a very natural look that it doesn't look like super heavy under your eyes. And then the concealer just has a regular doe foot applicator. I have been loving those huge concealer applicators lately, but this is just like a normal doe foot applicator. I like the finish, especially it's a little bit luminous, but still like it has a little bit of that radiance to it that makes it look like skin, but it's not so radiant that it looks dewy or it's gonna crease up or fade throughout the day. Like this lasts all day, but it still looks like skin. So that's what I really like. I feel like it's gonna go with a lot of different makeup styles as well. If you're wearing like kind of a lighter makeup look, a full face of makeup, it's a universal concealer that goes with everything. Next up, I recommend this product every day of my life, but it's just that good, and it's the Laura Mercier Translucent Glow Powder. This stuff is awesome. This is my second jar. I'll probably go through like another 5 in the next year. Actually, the first jar I had lasted me 6 months, and I wear this stuff every single day. This is amazing. I wear this to set my whole face every day. I can't live without it. Even if I'm wearing like barely any makeup, I still use this powder. So what's awesome at it is that it actually sets your makeup, but then it has that glow over it as well. So it's just like little shimmer particles that make it look like very natural. So I feel that regular translucent powders, yes, they mattify and set your face, but then it makes your skin look more one-dimensional, and in reality, you have some texture to your skin, and maybe you do want to cover that up, but not so much that it looks like you're wearing a crap load of makeup. So this does that, where it's gonna give you a matte finish, it's gonna give you that coverage to set your foundation in place, but it's gonna have a little bit of that shimmer through that still makes your face look like a face and not foundation on top of a face. It just looks like really good skin, basically. It looks like a filter. But at the same time, this product does leave your skin matte. So it's really cool because it does set your face. Like if you have oily skin, you'll still really enjoy this powder. It just has a little bit of that sheen to it that makes it look like natural skin and not makeup. So can't get enough of it. One of my holy grail products. It's kind of expensive. I think it's like around $38. But like I said, I wore one jar every day for 6 months. So makes a huge difference for sure. And the next step, I've talked about this product a lot, but it's still a holy grail for sure. It's one of those things, if I ran out of this whole palette, I will repurchase it. This is the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. I'm very particular about face palettes. I hate it when you only end up using 1 or 2 shades in the palette, and then you hit pan on them, and then they're all used up, and then you have the rest of like all the shades you don't like. But that's not the case with this. I use this whole palette. So on the inside, you have a mirror, you have a contour shade, a bronzer, a blush, 2 highlights, and then like an under eye setting powder. This one's a little bit light for me, so I just use this to set my eyeshadow primer, or I'll use it like on my T-zone to like highlight a little bit. I mix together the bronzer and the contour like every single day. It's like the perfect shade to me. And then I love the blush. The highlights aren't like the best highlighters in the world, but they're highlighters that I love to use for my brow bone, inner corner, that kind of highlight, where it's more of like a subtle highlight and not like a blinding highlight. But what I love about all of the different shades and formula is that I can kind of customize it. Like I'll mix the bronzer and the contour together to make it a little bit more neutral, or I'll wear the contour on its own for more of a cool tone look. I'll mix the blush with one of the highlighters to make it a shimmery blush. I'll mix the bronzer with one of the highlighters to make it a shimmery bronzer. So I definitely get a ton of use out of this palette. I also love how compact it is. Every time I've traveled in the past year, I bring this palette with me as like my only contour and bronzer, and usually blush as well. If you want to like reapply those products on the go, this is very small, like you can throw this in a purse for sure. So really love that palette. It has a full-size mirror too, so it's a very practical palette, and then I love all the shades, love the formula as well. Next up, we have another palette. This is the Jouer blush palette. If you are a blush person, you would really like this palette because you get a lot of color variations within this palette. A lot of colors that you can mix together. Like I always mix these 2 shades together, or sometimes I'll mix this shade and this shade together. And I usually stick to more neutrally blushes, so I'm not really wearing like this pink shade in the center, but I wear basically everything else, and I love these 2 mixed together. Like this orange shade is so bold, but I use it as a blush topper. Let me show you guys like on my hand. It's like a very orange blush, but I use it as a blush topper, and I'll mix it with one of these other 2 neutral shades that I love as well. Really gorgeous shades, warm tones, cool tones, and bolder blushes as well. It's also a very pigmented formula. It's not powdery, so it like melts into your skin, and actually the color payoff is there for sure, especially when I'm wearing like orangey blushes. I like it to be a statement on my face. Like I want it to look like I'm wearing too much blush. And that's the look, and that's what I always do with this. I just love that look for summer. Whenever I'm like really tan, I'll put orange all over my cheeks, and it sounds so weird, but it looks so good. At least I think it looks good. Yeah, let's just go with that. If I think it looks good, it looks good. Another blush that I'm loving, and there's a ton of these, but I think I have all of them, honestly, but I didn't want to open up the rest of the shades because I just want to focus on like one at a time. So this is the Buxom Primer Infused Blush. I wear the shade Wanderlust. They have like a bold purple, peachy shades. I want to try the peach one as well, but this is more like a mauve, cool tone blush, the kind of blush that goes with every makeup look. These are awesome because it's almost like, it almost feels like a cream to powder formula. Like they are very creamy. Definitely dry formula, but it's just so buttery that it almost feels like a cream blush. So it looks super beautiful on your skin. It definitely looks like very natural. Really, really love that blush. It's like such a beautiful formula. And then I have another bronzer. Love these. Becca Bronzers Capricos is my jam. I have another one too. I don't wear the other one as much, so we're not going to talk about it, but this one in Capricos is my favorite. This formula is amazing. I just love this shade because sometimes bronzers can be very warm, but this is such a neutral shimmer bronzer. So what I always do, I'll use this whole thing all over my face. Maybe I'll add in one of these blushes, and I use the bronzer and contour shade in here, mix them together. That's my contour for the day. It's matte, it's more one-dimensional. It looks really pretty, but I like to add some more dimension to my face and make it look like more sun-kissed. And I feel like the best way to do that is with a slight shimmery product or something that has a sheen to it that adds a little bit more of a dimension and a glow to your skin. So I always basically set my contour with a shimmer bronzer. And I love this shade because it's not like so deep that it looks like I'm adding way too much product to my face. It's light enough that it looks like a natural suntan. So love this formula so much. It's not shimmer like my Too Faced Chocolate Gold. That's like basically a shimmer bronzer, but this has like a satin sheen to it that just adds dimension to your face and makes it look like a lot more natural. Definitely an amazing bronzer. These are expensive. Normally they're like $36, so get it for, well, like $28 if you can. Definitely, like, it's so pricey. It took me so long to try out this bronzer formula, but I can't live without it. It's so beautiful on your skin. Absolutely love it, and I feel like it really does make a difference to make your makeup look more enhanced and natural at the same time. All right, getting into some eyeshadows. So I am a neutral eyeshadow lover for sure. I wear my eyeshadow like this almost all the time. In case you're curious what I'm wearing, Dominique Cosmetics Latte Palette. Highly recommend that if you love neutrals. Amazing palette. But if you want to get into some colorful eyeshadows, go with the Riviera palette. This is like the one colorful palette that you need if you want to start incorporating some more colorful looks into your makeup. This has like every colorful shade. Blues, pinks, purples, yellows, corals. It has it all. And also none of the shades are intimidating, like super neon green or yellow or anything like that. Like, they're still fairly wearable colorful shades, or colorful shades that you can incorporate with some of your neutral palettes. Like, you could just pull like one color from here to start off, and then you could get more creative as time goes on if you want to. But if you want some more colorful eyeshadow, highly recommend this palette. It's definitely awesome. I use this alongside my Norvina palette a lot. Like, I'll just take one shade from here, mix it in with some of the transition shades from my Norvina palette because it has those neutrals that I really like if I don't want to do an all colorful look with this palette. And then if you want to do an all colorful look with this palette, of course you can. You could do a ton of them. That would be my number one recommendation as an eyeshadow palette for now, because a lot of other palettes that I would recommend are more neutral palettes, like any other Anastasia palette, basically, like Norvina, Soft Glam, Sultry are my other like top favorite palettes. But for summer, I love playing with some color, even if it's just like a little bit of a pop of color. And this is definitely the palette that you need if you want to incorporate that into like your summer makeup looks. And then next up I have 3 products, but they're all kind of like similar products. So I'm counting them as one product, but they're 3 different brands. It just depends on what kind of texture you prefer of these. And these are like pot eyeshadows. And so we have Tarte, we have Hourglass, and we have Marc Jacobs. The formula of all 3 are very different, and I love all 3 formulas. I also really want to try these from Natasha Denona. Like, these pressed foiled shadows are awesome, and especially if you love neutrals but you're like bored with just popping a copper shade on your lid and you want to do something that's more bold or in your face without having to wear colorful looks. This is a solution. So starting off with a formula that's more of a foiled look and less of a glitter look, and those are the Tarte Chrome Paints. I have the shades Top Yacht and Park Avenue Princess. Top Yacht is like one of my favorite lid colors, so it's just like a very foiled metallic eyeshadow. So beautiful, so intense, super pigmented. And you can see it doesn't have any glitter flecks to it, but it basically looks like a wet look on your eyes. So definitely a gorgeous shade. And then also Park Avenue Princess is the other one I have that is more of a copper shade. Very pigmented, like super foiled, like amazing pigmentation for sure. So if you don't want glitter, go for this because it's gonna give you that intense look that's really foiled, really metallic without any glitter to it if you don't like glitter. And then if you want some glitter, go with Hourglass. So I have, this is called their Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow of the shade Reflect. This is a gorgeous shade. It's kind of like a rose gold color. Definitely a glitter eyeshadow, but it's not chunky at all. So still has that same kind of look. Actually, it's a little bit more similar to the Tarte product, but this has a little bit more of those fine glitter pigments to it. Not chunky at all whatsoever though. Really, really love this formula as well. And then if you want glitter, go with the Marc Jacobs sequined eyeshadows. I want to get more of these. This I would probably recommend the most because these two other products are very similar. Like if you wet your brush into a foiled shadow from Anastasia, you're gonna get the same look as these. But this, oh, mine is broken. Okay, I guess I need to get a new one of these now that it's broken. I know I took this on a trip with me recently and I haven't used it since. Okay, so these aren't travel friendly. That's a bummer. Okay, I just repressed it in there, so we're good to go. But this is beautiful. It has, basically, if you take one of these or one of these and then top it with the Stila Glitter and Glows, that's what you get with this. Like, look at that glitter reflect. And it's not chunky, but it's almost like a glitter nail polish. It's like that fine glitter. So, so beautiful. And I do love all three formulas, but the product I want to purchase more of are the sequin eyeshadows from Marc Jacobs because this is just like a very unique formula that you're not going to get in an eyeshadow palette with that glitter reflect, but it's not chunky and it's super pigmented and it still applies like very foiled and wet. It's not a glitter where it's like dry on the eyes and it's gonna flake throughout the day. Like this almost applies like a liquid eyeshadow with glitter to it. And then lastly, we have a liquid lipstick, and this is a product I mentioned a million times, but this is something I'm wearing a lot recently because I love bold lip colors for summer, and usually I want them to be matte and I want them to stay in place. I don't want them to get all weird throughout the day or fade awkwardly or anything like that. I don't want to have to worry about it, especially if it's like a hot pink color or something like that. Love the Always On liquid lipsticks from Smashbox. And this one in the shade Baja Bound, you guys have seen me wear a ton in recent videos. It's a gorgeous, like, hot coral pink shade. It's so pretty. I think I was wearing this probably like in my video before this. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. I really like this shade. It works with a lot of makeup looks for sure. Another shade I'm really liking right now is Out Loud. It's more of an orange shade. I'll wear this sometimes during the fall too, like a burnt orange shade if you want to do more of like a gold smoky look. That is the shade Unbound. It's like a very good year-round color, but the shade Baja Bound, this is a staple for summer for sure. They have a million shades in the Smashbox liquid lipstick. Well, really they have like 40 or something. And if you want to do a bold lip, highly recommend that formula. It won't let you down because it's not going to move around and it's not going to be uncomfortable or drying on your lips. It's something that's like very foolproof. I don't have to worry about it looking weird or anything. So love that formula, especially for summer if you want to do something like brighter and bolder. Alright guys, so those are all of my top Sephora VIB sale recommendations. Let me know what your recommendations are for the VIB sale in the comments below. Also make sure you're checking out my VIB sale wish list if you haven't already, if you want to see what products I plan on purchasing during the VIB sale. I'll leave that linked in my description box if you guys want to check it out. And yeah, that's everything for today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.